Thank you, Marco Passanante. I know it's 1 a.m. there in Dubai, so it's still half day for you yet before you finish off the day. So welcome, everyone. It's great to be here Monday evening. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about a subject that is really close to my heart, and that is driving depth, but staying in the basics. Just had an incredible director call today, hearing the company's numbers, the markets that are growing. But Oren reminded us very quickly that we should never come out of the basics. No matter what success we have, no matter how much money we make, no matter what rank we achieve, we never come away from the basics. So tonight, I was thinking about sharing with you just some of the things. And if you ever find yourself, like I do very often, sitting here going, I've heard this before, and I'm not moved, inspired, or simply feel it's like Groundhog Day, well, this industry is all about Groundhog Day. This industry is all about doing the basics over and over again. And some of you, I can see your faces, you're already bored. Okay, great. Ian's laughing now. That's good. That's the main thing. Okay, I always told that it takes less muscles to smile than to frown. So some of us may just want to trick ourselves. Okay, we'll save a lot of energy. So, but basically, how many feel like I'm going to have some fun tonight, whether you do or don't? That's the main thing. Okay, because sometimes we have to talk firm. And when we do, we just bring Marco Passanante in, because he's the best at doing that, right? He can get away with it. Why? Because he's passionate. And I want to say one thing before I kick off. When you get to know that person, Marco Passanante, look, we're all different types of personalities. That's what's great about the Express Start brochure, because in the back, there are personality traits and 4 different colors. So guess what? We've got to learn who we are, and then we learn who other people are, and then we learn why they're that way, because we're all perfect, aren't we? It's everyone around us. So when Tom's laughing now. Tom's an incredible individual. He's an NLP trainer, John Maxwell reader and participant. Isn't it amazing the amount of content that we all learn, but we just don't deploy? Right? Because sometimes we become sponges for knowledge, but we forget the basics. And the basics are very simple. So tonight, I want to share a couple of things. I want to draw out, I'm using my whiteboard if it works. And I want to talk about staying in the basics. We're doing a program right now, and it's open for everybody. It's all about learning the theory, the science about this industry, because when we master the industry or the thought process of this industry, we'll realize the people that achieve the big ranks, the people that create the freedoms, the people that create the lifestyles are generally people that just are consistent with staying in the trenches with doing the basics. So I coined a saying many years ago, because I was shown by, I believe, the best of the best. And I've got to say, Marco Passanante is up there with the people that I've personally worked with in many years, because regardless of his passion, regardless of his sometimes his directfulness, what I do see with Marco is there's nobody that outworks him. And that's what I see consistently. And he could take his foot off the gas right now, but he never does, because he leads by example. And so what I learned many years ago, and this is what I'd really encourage every one of us to do and implement in our personal growth, our business growth, our team growth, our community involvement and commitment to, is learn the basics. Learn the basics. Learn how to follow the business launch sheet in the One Mondo page. Learn how to make a list, build a list. Learn how to contact and invite. Learn how to, I call STP, right? Share the product, show the plan, stuff the pockets, right? If you learn how to share the product and show the plan, you'll learn how to stuff the pockets with the revenues you generate by building volume. learn how to follow up consistently, learn how to counsel with the person who you're working with. And so as we all take responsibility of learning what are the basics and then learning the basics, and by learning the basics, the best way to learn is being willing to go do them when you don't feel like doing them, think you're ready to do them, because it's by the action that the theory becomes clear. A lot of times people are so bogged down with gathering information, they're not taking action steps, and they really can't see the transition between the knowledge to the application of it. And the application is very, very straightforward. It's simple. The barrier is fear. The barrier is fear of what others think, what people will say. I don't know it all, but that's the reality. And I'm going somewhere with this because I want you to understand what we're going to share with you tonight is something that I believe by driving depth, you can set an example, and by driving depth, build security. I was listening to another network marketer who was incredibly successful. He's a great friend of Marco's, and I've watched this young man. He's probably still 10 or 15 years younger than me, but I was watching one of his training videos the other day, just by fluke. How many of you believe in coincidences? Okay, none of you. Okay, one of you. Okay, but when I think about something, it appears. When I think that I should be addressing things, someone else has done that. And how many of you have ever thought yourself or sat in a room like this and gone, I was only just thinking about that the other day, and the people just take action. Well, the reality is he was talking about, and I'm going to draw it out in a minute, but I want you to start thinking, we as a team, as a family, as a community, will only be strong when we understand that the roots that we build. It's called taproot. When a tree is growing, do you know the roots that are beneath that we don't see are deeper, wider, stronger than the tree that we see? But the tap roots also disperse the moisture around the living tree to the branches that then start to grow. But it's through the tap root that we build stability. It's through the tap root that we see what's above the surface that can withstand any of the environmental changes like wind or sunlight, but it's the tap root. And what I mean by that and want you to understand is so many of us want to get to somewhere fast by just building volume. Now, volume is important because that's how we rank up. But if we don't build volume by building the proper basics, the proper teachings, the proper duplication, we will be able to build pockets of volume, but it won't be part of the stability, because people are out there doing their own things in their own fields, creating their own little bushes, rather than building the huge tree that we can all pin ourselves to. So I want to share that with you tonight. I want to share the importance of, even when sometimes our business isn't where we want to be, and maybe our business is growing, but we aren't where we want to be, and you'll understand that in a minute, is do you understand that you can have people in your business growing faster than you? Okay, one of you. Okay, this is interactive, right? Because I can see all the screens right now, because that's important, okay? Because sometimes we don't understand the principle of sowing even when we're not growing. We got to keep sowing into the team, into the community, into the growth that's happening, even when our personal growth may not be happening. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's do that. Let's do that. Try and bring up a whiteboard. I can see Tom. Tom, can you see a whiteboard? Thank you, sir. So we're going to talk about depth tonight. We're going to talk about Oh, you know it's going to happen now. It's not going to work now for me. Oh, it worked. I tested it this evening. Oh, hey, that works. Okay. Try it one more time, see if it wasn't a fluke. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so taproot. We're going to talk about taprooting. Tap routing. Okay, so that's not working. Okay, stop. Share. Let's go to the Zoom whiteboard. I see Marco's mastered this one before, but I can't master this one. So let me do my best. So here's you. Okay, and we know that we build width because although we build two teams, we're going to build a left team and we're going to build a right team. But I hope you all understand that you are not confined to just enrolling two. You can sponsor as many people as you like, as wide as you like, to infinity and beyond, but you end up putting them into your organization. Okay, but there's no entitlement mentality that we must have, because so often, sometimes we spend a lot of our time looking up and asking them, when are you going to put someone in my business? Rather than thinking my business is from me down. Anything I get in addition to my business is a blessing. I'm grateful for, but I'm not looking for it, because your business is your business. But one thing that I've seen happen is generally, this will happen. An organization will start developing and your team will start building. And somewhere down the road, maybe this leg starts to develop faster. Now, these are partners, okay? Just imagine all of these. This is someone who's 18. This is someone, which 18 we know is 25 subscriptions. Maybe someone here is X team. We know that's 10 subscriptions. This person's top team, 100 subscriptions. So just look at this as your tap route, and you're going deeper and deeper. What I found here in this industry, and I found more relevant today than ever before, with the world in a crazy place, with people looking for opportunity, but they don't understand that opportunity is very, very shallow. A lot of things look good. A lot of things will attract, but have no substance, because they have no tap roots. They have no foundation. Maybe it's a quick buck here and there. Maybe it's a little of a gamble to make some revenue. That's not building business. That's gambling, okay? We're talking about building a real business. And a real business is based on relationships, okay? Business is built on relationships. People don't join Zinzino. People join you. People don't join One Mondo. They join you. You introduce them to One Mondo. You introduce them to Zinzino, but it's your connection. It's your relationship. But once you've got that relationship, the best thing you could ever do is bring them in to the bigger fold, the community. Why? Because you can never build on your own. And I see a lot of people, what they'll tend to do is they'll get maybe someone going, or maybe they haven't got anyone going yet, and maybe they've been blessed by someone else putting someone in their business, and they'll start growing and someone else gets in, and here comes a super hot rod. And I call this a pressure point, right? I call it a pressure point. Not somebody I knew, not someone that you knew, but someone that appeared in your group, maybe from someone who placed it, or someone who came into your team through a connection of a connection. But this person starts growing really fast. The challenge here is all volume starts to move through here. And long as we're active, we know we get banked. We get banked volume. And so one side of our business can be really growing in volume and banking, and maybe our pay leg, we call it, our lesser leg, our weaker leg, call it what you want, is where it gets our focus. Now, here's what I found to see, and I see this happening across the board, is when we have a leg growing that was not of our doing, the volume is banking, we get excited about volume and we start to focus on our pay leg. Well, remember when you got started, remember in the back office, it said balanced, build balanced. So yes, we want to build our pay leg, but we also want to stay contributing into the team leg. Because if someone is a hot rod who starts building a business, and generally that hot rod will then migrate to someone in their upline who can help them, one, be extremely thankful. If anybody in my organization, and I'm just giving an example, wants to bypass me and work with Orion or work with Marco, you know what I do? I do this. Thank you. I go, thank you. Why? Orion is better at it than I am. Marco is better than I am, and I'm thankful. And the goal is to have more people in your business making more money than you. Therefore, you will always make money. So by driving depth, you don't know who the next person is. But the key element is when you drive depth, now you're starting to do one or two things. You're looking for people. You ready for this? Please do not take this out of context. Do not take this as a personal, oh, is he talking about? No, this is what I see by human nature. One is that you need to make sure the pressure points. If this person isn't attending things, if this person isn't teaching the getting started training, I know, but if I waited for this person and taught them everything about the getting started training and relied on this person because they don't want me to talk to their team, they've forgotten that their team is my team. And my team is Marco's team. And how many of you, I can only see half a dozen, I'm going to actually see if I can expand this a little. For the ones I can see on the screen, I'm going to shout out to Nav, Tom, sorry, how do I pronounce Grinny? What's your first name? Okay, give me a wave so you know I'm talking about you. There we go. Shan, Ian. Let me ask you all a question. If Orion appeared in the bottom of one of your teams and you weren't told about it, would you still be happy? Did you understand? Do you want me to say the question? If you had someone in your upline, in the bottom of your team that you didn't have to pay, that you didn't have to use your time, that you didn't have to do anything, and you found that someone else was working in your business to create volume in your business, would you be upset? No. Exactly. Because we don't understand. You want the most knowledge coming down to the deepest person until someone is teaching the basics. I will tell you, this is Marco asked me, he said, do you want to do the call tonight? I said, I'd love to do, well, I didn't say I'd love to do the call. I said, okay, I'll do the call. He said, what's on your heart? Last week, I restarted 5 partners that have all been in over 6 months. I went through a getting started training, and you know, all 5 told me they were never shown that. That's scary. That means the tap root's not growing. So until someone you go all the way down here and you're getting someone started, or you're speaking to this person and they tell you, oh, yeah, I've done my getting started training. And John told me about the weekly calls. So John told me about the onemondo.com, OneMondo 10M. I still have people asking me who have been around 6 months, what was the password for the login? I'm going to tell you again, it's called OneMondo 10M, OneMondo 10 million customers. So I show people when I get them started, I show them Marco's training. Why? When Marco trains them on a 20-minute video, and I set that as homework for them, when I get with them the next 24 hours or 48 hours and I bring up the business launch sheet, it's going to really replicate and repeat what Marco told them. So when I shared the business sheet with them, there's things that on the business sheet that now are familiar to them because I set them homework. So until someone down here is duplicating the basics, then it's your business, no matter who brought them in. Because if we bring people in and we don't train the new person, then you won't have a tap root, you'll have shrinkage. But if you keep the basics pure and you follow the system, and if we don't know the system, the key element is to then make sure you bring someone in to do the getting started training for you, and you watch. We do the me, we, you. Even when we're showing, we're registering new customers, when we're getting new partners, when we're doing the getting started training, we apply the me, we, you. And if you don't understand that because you're a new team member here tonight, me means if you're brand new, your enroller or your sponsor or someone who's capable working with you will do the first meeting or two for you. I'll do it for you, but you will be there. Do you know what? In my early days, because I wanted to help A, and my goal was just to get past A. A would give me a name and I'd give, oh, can you ring B for me? Yeah, I can ring B for you. But guess what? A doesn't hear my conversation. So A doesn't hear how I'm talking. Oh, and I set up a meeting and I go and show B. Now, there's going to be times when you do that, but where we can, one of the golden rules I would encourage us all now is never do a meeting where possible alone. Have a shadow, because that way you're working smart. You're exposing and you're teaching in the same time. So many times people, oh yeah, can you give B a call for me? Yeah, I can, A, sure. Oh, by the way, A, B's getting started. Oh, excited. But guess what I taught A? Nothing. I taught nothing. And then I moan about A. No, I don't really, right? But wait, oh, A doesn't know anything. No, because A hasn't plugged in. So my goal is to teach as I go down with those who are teachable. And those who are teachable could be 3 levels down. So that's my first pressure point. My first pressure point is someone who's reciprocated. They don't demand from you. They ask you. They're thankful for the time and effort because they understand you're busy and you're working with them to help them. So I call this pressure point 1. My advice and what I was taught is I need to find 3 to 5 relationships in each of my legs that I am building who become my pressure points. Someone that I get to know their family. Now, do not be offended by this again, right? This is just me. I always teach people, or my personal is, the people that I'll build with everybody. I'm going to help everybody, but not everybody's ready to go at the pace that you are. So love them, provide a culture, one mondo, provide the tools, the resources, and empower them, educate them, equip them. But I'm going to build relationships with those who are putting the time in, putting the effort in. Because so often you'll be working down here for somebody and you'll be driving a leg deep, and all of a sudden this person here wakes up and says, oh, what are you doing Wednesday afternoon? I've got someone I want you to talk to for me. You're going, hold on a moment. You haven't been on a team call for 6 months. You weren't at the physical event. Well, I can't wait for physical events. We weren't at the physical event a few months ago when we had one. So again, we want to help people, but sometimes by helping everyone, we are very spread thinly. We're not directional, because the key here is I'm going to help everybody I possibly can by what? By being as deep as I possibly can, working with the newest person, helping them go through their fast start bonuses, because all that volume goes back up. That is helping everybody. Would you agree? But I'm not responsible to make everybody their money. Their money comes from what? Building a second leg. But here's the final thing on that, is when this person starts to engage, and maybe that volume is, I'm just going to use an example, is 50,000 bank credits. Marco's much better at this. We're using it, 50,000 credits. And so they go, oh, you know what? If I just get 1,000 credits in here, I'm an executive. Why? If you don't know the comp plan, recommend you learn the comp plan. Executive is 1,000 in your pay leg and 2,000 in your big leg. Well, you know you've got 2,000 because you've got 50,000 banked. So next week, the 1,000 is leveraged. You take 2,000 from the 50,000. Now, at that level, that's quite exciting. Why? You've paid as an executive. You've got 48,000 credits still banked. And you know next week, if you put another 1,000 in, put another 2,000 in, hey, I've got a growing little team now. And I'm just going to focus on this leg. And I've got 2,000 credits coming in. Now I'm a what? A platinum. And I can deduct 4,000 from this leg. So now you're left with lesser volume. Now, of course, each week that business is growing. But here's what we want to be very, very careful with. If we start having everybody focusing just on their pay leg, their banked volume will dry up. So take counsel, because what you never want to do is pull out of a leg. You always want to be working in 2 legs. Now, the percentage of the amount of time you work in them can change depending how they're developing. So that's why we all play team. If we are all engaging into the same business, then we're not worried about who's working at the bottom. Why? Because our goal's the same. We're in communication. Hey, Ian, just put a nav in yesterday. He's down underneath Tom, and we've gone through his getting started training, and I've got 2 meetings booked for him this week. I can do Tuesday. Can you do Wednesday? What you want to do is start pulling people into the growth. Well, Dave, you know what? I don't really have a leg growing right now. Hey, if you're capable, you still want to be contributing. Why? You want to make sure you're sharpening your axe for when you're ready to find someone, you're ready to chop that tree down. Most people, they will allow someone else to go build, and they'll wait for someone else to come along so they can start that new leg. Then, because they're not in the habit of learning the basics, doing the basics, and teaching the basics, even if it's in a leg that's just accumulating volume, then they get someone to get started. They get someone new. Now they're trying to pull the person from the depth of their business to come back up to help them get someone started. And now you can find yourself in various parts of the team when you should be staying at the very bottom, tap rooting, creating a fire. Does that make sense? For those I can see on the screen. So taprooting builds security. Taprooting builds longevity. Taprooting breaks, ready for this? Leaders. And this is just the equation. I don't know why it's this way. I wish it wasn't, but I was taught, where's my cursor gone? I was taught to find three to five, here we go. I was taught to find 3 to 5 leaders or relationships in a leg. So my left leg, my right leg. Now, guess what? It may not be the first person. It may not be the second person. It may not even be the person that is placed in the underneath there. It could be this person. Don't know them. But by building a relationship for them, doesn't jeopardize any relationship that they want to have with anybody else. But if that person here is hungry, coachable, doing the basics, teaching the basics, and yet we're not ready yet to engage wholeheartedly, just count your blessings. You have someone in your organization who wants to run the play. Because you know that our goal is to raise leaders. And leaders generally come several layers below you who don't know you. You know why? Because they'll listen to you because they don't know you. Isn't that funny? The ones we really want to help, brother, sister, mother, auntie, cousin, they don't listen to you. Why? They got drunk with you last week and they saw you throw up after eating a kebab. And now you're going to show them how to make money with Zinzino? Come on. That's why you've got to introduce them. And here's the key here to drive in depth. Edification. Edification will either build your business or lack of it will not build your business. Imagine down here, I still today, even today, if Marco was on or at least talking here, he'd probably validate him. I've got a new personal coming on and I'm chasing Marco. Hey, Marco, have you got 5 minutes just to jump on a Zoom? Dave, I'm in between meetings, but let me know. Hey, Dave, message me in a minute and I'll see if I can get on. Hey, Marco, are you free now? I appreciate if you're free now to jump on. Why? I don't need Marco to show the plan anymore. But I need Marco to re-edify me to my new person because I can't promote myself. But to empower Marco, when Marco comes on, hey, Tom, you know where we're talking, Marco, this is Marco Passanante. This is the guy that tried for 3 years to get my attention. I wish I'd listened sooner. But Marco, thanks to Marco, he got me in front of Orion. And, Marco was very smart. Marco was already a multiple 5-figure income earner monthly. But you know what he did? He got me in front of the founder. He used a 3-way. So you know what Marco taught me, Tom? Immediately, even though he didn't need the Orion to do his meeting, he knew the power of a 3-way edification. Oh, this is Marco. Marco's a gentleman. I tell you what, since I've been in the business for 20 months, Marco's never not delivered on things he said he would do for me. Now, if he can't do something, he'll take, Dave, can't do it. You're on your own for there, but whatever you need me, let me. He'll never say he can when he can't, and he will always be there when he says he will be there. Wow, okay. This is who is working with me and helping me. We can have Marco help you down the road, but I just wanted you to meet him today. Right? I'm building Marco up. So Tom now, Marco, Dave has respect for Marco. Then Marco can turn around. Hey, Tom, yeah, Dave's spoken about you, and I'm so excited that you're joining the team. And you know what? You couldn't be in better. Now, this isn't about Marco, by the way, and this is not about me. I'm just using this as a role play. So don't think it's a power trip, all right? Because some of you may take it out of context. I'm just using it as a role play. Hey, Dave, Tom. Yeah, Dave. You know, Dave. I tried to get Dave for 3 years, and but you know what? I don't see anybody. He sits right now because we're in lockdown. He sits in front of his laptop for 12 or 13 presentations a day, Tom. And you know what? I would maximize his time. You're in good hands. He knows exactly how to get you started through the getting started training. He'll know exactly where to give you the tools. And now what he's doing is educating Tom that I'm knowing what I'm doing, which means he's empowering me to show Tom how to get started. I've done an audio and it's on our YouTube channel. The power of a three-way call. It's not because we like the sound of our voices, it's because of the dynamics. So when you're driving depth and you're finding relationships, here's the other thing. On Facebook, you know, how many of you, by the ones I can see, how many of you know Facebook isn't always real? Okay. Okay. But, you know, and also Facebook is not an indication all the time of what's going on, right? So guess what? When I see, using the example, Marco's in London having dinner with Tom, and he didn't tell me, and he didn't invite me, I'm going to throw my dummy out the pram. People do that because they don't understand that what taprooting is all about is helping the very person who's not present at the dinner to build volume for them. So there's 3 things that taprooting does. 1, it exposes those who are engaging and who aren't. Those who aren't, love them, right? How many people on tonight? 54. Not enough. Not enough. We should have at least 200 people a week on this call. But you know what people have sometimes? Yeah, I've heard it all before. Or no, I don't want to hear that again. Well, until you're growing, what you need to hear is the same over and over again. It's just the way the industry is. It's monotonous, it's mundane, it's repetitive, but it gets you a great lifestyle. The basics. Over and over again. So taprooting will build security. Taproot, you're looking for 3 to 5 key people. Now that could be level 4, number 1. Next one could be level 12, number 2. Next one could be level 20, number 3. Why? Why do we look for 3 to 5 key relationships? Again, I'm just giving you some real depth training here tonight. What happens if this person loses their job, goes for a marital issue, maybe ill health, whatever it may be? If you stop at that person, but you're not backing up a leader by a leader, so you can go back to this person and say, hey, buddy, just take some time out. Hey, you're in our prayers. Don't worry, we got you back here. We're keeping on building through here, and I'll pop back and see you, and we'll come and see the fam. Hey, but if that's the only person that you've got a relationship with and you haven't driven past them, then when something happens to them, your business shrinks. So drive depth, because depth builds security. As you're driving depth, edify everybody. And the third thing is stay at the bottom. If you want to help everybody, stay at the bottom and create the fire at the bottom. If you create a fire down here and this person still doesn't engage, you can't do nothing until they're ready. But if you stay here trying to help this person who's not engaging, you'll get very frustrated. Love everybody, plug them into the system, and then go work with those who appreciate it, are acting on the information they ask of you, and they understand they also have to be accountable to the advice you're giving them. That's why in the One Mondo page also, we have a weekly coaching sheet. If you want coaching, this is one of the best areas. This team, One Mondo, this community, this business, Zinzino, this is, and on my final thought, if I'm going to learn how to build a business in Zinzino, I need to take my counsel from people who are building in Zinzino. Not people outside that I have to pay who don't know how to build Zinzino. Because there's too many people spending money on people who don't know how to build this industry, and they most definitely don't know how to build Zinzino. Because even network marketers don't know how to build Zinzino, because we may be structured the same. We may still make a list and contact and invite, show the plan and follow up and rotate the process. That all seems to be the same, but the ethos is totally different here. So I hope that helps a little tonight. Building depth will build your security, and building depth allows you to also develop your skills with people who don't know you. So therefore they don't know what you don't know. And that's your opportunity to lead. People closest to you know you don't know everything yet. But when you're 20 levels deep and you're working with Stuart Elliott, and you're just, hey, Elliot, let's get you through your getting started training. And Stuart's never seen the getting started training. You're just practicing the getting started training. He doesn't need to know. Now it looks like you know what you're talking about. So folks, this business is very simple. And in closing, this is the most important thing. Numbers build numbers. And we're on a Zoom tonight. And we're on Zooms every day right now until we physically can have meetings. But if we've got a team business presentation, you should be all on it. If you're German, support the German one. If you're Spanish, support the Spanish one. If you speak English and you have nothing else to do, support the English one. Why? When Estvan has a guest and there's 100 people on it, guess what? The sponsoring rate goes up. When Estvan has a guest and it's tumbleweed, because we all think, I've seen Tom so many times, I am sick and tired of his big Cheshire grin, his big teeth. There you go. Look at him. He's predictable, right? So you understand. It's not about you if you want to succeed. It's about the team, because numbers build numbers. If your upline is in your business every week, then at least have the decency to turn up on the call that's building your business. Because I could be 20 levels deep in your leg with people you don't know, but you don't want to show up for the call because you've heard it before. The only reason we don't like showing up is because we don't have anyone new on the call. If you had someone new on the call, you'd want everybody showing up. And if you go read my post today, this is what I woke up with on my heart, was when you put your personal agenda aside and put the focus on the team. When we build the team, our personal agenda looks after itself. Servanthood leadership. So this March, February was great. March is going to be bigger. But let's focus on the basics. Am I getting people started right? Have I learned the power of edification? Am I turning up? Am I treating it like a business or a hobby? Because I will tell you this in closing, Marco did go on a rant 2 weeks ago. I say that, you know, I love Marco's passion, right? But Marco tells it as it is. He tells it from the heart. He shoots from the hip. Because when you're building, you know nothing's perfect, but you're solution orientated. When you ain't building, you generally bring more problems to the table and you can throw out your dummy more often than not. And then guess what? You don't even turn up. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Drive depth. Honor your word. I will never pull out of a business that I'm working. I will never pull out of a business that I'm working. But you have to work your business alongside me too. Hope that helps. Stay blessed. And we'll see you next week on the team training. Take care, everybody.